Super Robot Wars J is a tactical RPG. While it is part of the massive Super Robot Wars series, you don't need to have played any of the others to enjoy this. I find that picking the right Super Robot Wars game for you comes down to the roster, and this roster is amazing for me. With shows like Tekken Man, Laserner, G Gundam and Dankuga, I'm sold already. You pick your units and move them around the map using various attacks. You get more robots joining your team as you progress and can level up your stats along the way to make them even better. You get the choice of two characters at the start. Toya, who is your typical shonen character, and then Calvina, aka the White Lynx, who is actually a trained skilled pilot. Whoever you pick, only the first two missions will be different. After that you play out the same missions either way. You get a choice of 3 different robots. There is also a 4th robot, but that requires multiple playthroughs to unlock. Even though I prefer Calvina, I recommend for your first playthrough that you pick Toya and the robot Guaranteed. It is by far one of the best robots in the game, and when you begin to invest points into Guaranteed, it will become a monster that will one-shot grunts and have no problem taking down bosses. This game does have a reputation amongst Super Robot War fans as the enemy reinforcements game, because it happens on every mission pretty much. You beat the first wave and then there's a second wave, and when you get to mid to late game there are sometimes a 3rd and 4th wave. I never found it much of an issue because I was having too much fun, but I can see why people might find it frustrating, especially on repeat playthroughs. It also means you can't be wasteful with your SP, which stands for Spirit Commands. SP is kind of like your magic in Super Robot War games. It helps you pull off devastating moves or heals. Given that these extra waves usually bring mid to end bosses on the map, you'll be in big trouble if you used it all up and will likely fail the mission. There are 2 types of robots in Super Robot War games: real robots and then super robots. Real robots are normally things like your Gundam Seed units, etc. They are great at dodging attacks and taking out small fry. Upgrading their mobility is what you should do. Super robots are your boss killers. They have high HP and the most devastating special moves, albeit they require high wills to pull off. Really something that builds up during a mission each kill you get. If you use your support attacks on top of that along with wisely using your SP, you will destroy bosses' HP in half in just one turn with a gang of super robots on your team. It is recommended maxing out your favourite super robot's energy and armour so you can tank hits and dish out more in return. You then have what I call the in-betweeners, not quite a real or super robot. Units like Technoman Blade are the best example of this. He can dodge like a real robot but has some real power moves that can clear the screen of enemies in one go. Puzzle mode, a separate mode from the main game, is really interesting to me. It puts you in scenarios where you only have so many units and moves to solve the mission. It felt like the crossword puzzle of this game. Rather than just using brute force with your most powerful robots, you actually have to get your thinking cap on and use tactics to win. It's a great addition, and in my opinion should be in every Super Robot War game, as I feel like modern day Super Robot War games have become too easy. It defeats the purpose of the game that is meant to be a tactical RPG if I'm not even using tactics or being challenged. More of these open up as you progress in the main game and become much harder. They unlock money and items that you can use in the main game as well, so there's a good incentive to play it. As for the story, these three girls basically randomly drop in your lap during a battle. They are being chased by a mysterious force who you later will come to find have a connection to Toya or Calvina, depending on who you picked. Between all that, you have the plots of the various shows featured in this game thrown in too, which is how Super Robot games tell their stories. If you don't know anything about the shows, then the story can get very confusing, but at the same time, sometimes they are told so well that you actually want to check out the show even if you've never seen it before. There is a heavy focus on the Tekken Man, Leisner and Seed storylines in this game, but the other shows get their limelight as well. How the Game Boy Advance is even doing these animations is madness. It's like the GBA went Ultra Instincts to pull off what is happening on the screen here. I actually think the animations are more impressive than some of the modern games. It's not HD, but it is some of the finest true pixel art, and the animations, while limited, have a dynamic flow that is missing in the modern games. To me, it feels like the true successor to the Super Nintendo games if they carried on in that style in regards to the animations. The music in this game is incredible. It has to be one of my favourite Super Robot War game soundtracks by far. It's funny how the Game Boy Advance limitations work in its favour, because most of the songs used in here sound better than the originals from the actual shows. Truly amazing work. Combining this with the awesome animations and sound effects, you have something special here. And if you don't believe me, just take these two clips in their full glory and tell me if you don't feel the burning passion building within you. It's these moments that make the Super Robot Wars game such great fun for robot fans. You won't find it anywhere else. All in all, Super Robot Wars J is a great little package, and I'm glad that it is one of the few Super Robot Wars games that got a fan's translation, so many more people can enjoy it. While the story isn't amazing, the challenge and journey you have along the way will be filled with moments that you will remember for a long time. As always, thanks for watching and catch you next time.